Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Michele and I'm an independent demonstrator here with Stamping Up in New South Wales, Australia. Thank you very much for joining me today. Please jump on, say hello, let us know where you're from. It's always great to say hello to new people. So please jump on and say hi. I'm just looking out my window here and it's starting to look a little bit stormy. It's been quite warm here in New South Wales today. Not overly hot, but enough that it looks like there's a storm coming, which I'll be pleased to cool things down a bit. My craft room is very, very warm. I've got the door open because my husband's out, so hopefully we'll have no undisturbers. Okay, before we get going, let me just put my phone on to silent. That way we won't get anyone ringing and disturbing us, which is always good. But please jump on and say hello. Now, today we're going to play with one of the new products. Hi, Wendy from Winnipeg. Thank you for joining. It's so wonderful to have you on here. It's been a few new people lately, which has been great. What time is it there? It must be, because it's 1 o'clock here. And I'm not quite sure how far behind us you are, but it must be late in the evening, or sort of 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. But anyway, so what we're going to play with today is one of the celebration products from Stamping Up. So this will be available in January, and this particular design here is called Bloom Impressions, and you can get this pack of 12 by 12 designer series paper when you spend $100 from either the annual catalogue or the mini catalogue. So this will be in the celebration catalogue, and that starts in January, around about the 2nd or 3rd of January, if my memory serves me correct. So let me just show you some of those papers. I have cut out, here we go, a little pile of them here so I can show you. So these, let me just pop here I was showing you the designer series paper and the pack, and I didn't have the right camera on. 8 p.m. Well, I'm so glad that it's still a decent hour. You can join us here, Wendy. Thank you. So as I was saying, this pack of 12 by 12 designer series paper is in the mini catalogue, celebration catalogue, not the mini. So let's just have a quick look at some of these papers. So I've just cut these down into a 10 centimetre by 15 centimetre piece so I could show them all to you. So we've got this one here, which is a lovely floral with lots of colours in it. And the colours that are in this are, let me have a quick look, Azure Afternoon, Blackberry Bliss, Blueberry Bushel, Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Melon Mambo, Peach Pie, Petunia Pop, Pumpkin Pie, and Shy Shamrock. So there's quite a few beautiful colours in this designer series paper. So I'll flip them all over in a moment so you can see the other side. So some really lovely papers. I think I cut this one in the wrong direction, but that's okay. We can do a landscape card with that one. And then you have this one here. I'm just checking. Yep, that's the right side. And if we flip all these over, they're the patterns on the other side. So I really love these three here. But I think these are quite pretty too. So, but I am partial to these types of designs. Oh, there's a bit of thunder there. It's got a little bit of lightning, a little bit of thunder around. So we'll keep going so we can get this live done before it actually breaks. It is beautiful, Wendy, beautiful DSP. So you can get this for free, okay? So here in Australia, you need to spend $100. I'm not quite sure what it is over in Canada or the UK or America, but here in Australia, $100 will get you this particular product for free. So some great papers there, and they would look fantastic too if you're into scrapbooking as well. Okay, so the card we're going to make today, I'm going to be using this particular designer series paper here, and I'm going to be teaming them up with a Shy Shamrock, and we're going to make a matchbox, not a matchbox card, a match card. It's one of the flip matchbook card. That's probably a better name for it. So it was just something I saw, and I just wanted to do a simple, quick card today because, as I said, this room is a little bit hot at the moment until I get a fan in here. So let me pop up the measurements. So bear with me 1 second. And let me bring those up there. So you can see those measurements there. I've done it in both imperial and in metric. So if you want to take a screenshot of that, you can. I'm running a bit behind with my blogging at the moment, and I can't see that happening actually this side of Christmas, just for the fact that I've also got a house inspection happening this week, so I've got a little bit of housework to do to get things up to scratch before the real estate agent comes through. So, but I will eventually pop this up on my blog, but there it is there, and you can always come back and refer to this video on YouTube anyway. Okay, so let me bring my desk back up. So what I have got here, I have got my Shy Shamrock piece, and I've already made all the scores there. So I have scored that at 12.5 centimetres and then at 27 centimetres. And that's left me a little piece here on the end, which is just over 2.5 centimetres in width. I've got a piece of my designer series paper that I'm going to be using on the front of my card, and I've decided to use the reverse side of this particular designer series paper as my trim at the bottom. I have then got 2 pieces of my basic white cut down to size, ready to go, one for inside my card and one to mat this lovely designer series paper. I've got another piece of basic white which is going to mat this piece of designer series paper, and then I've cut out this element here for my sentiment, and I've cut that out using the, I can always have trouble remembering the names of these. You could use, it's a Spotlight on Nature dies, but you could also use the Stylish Shapes if you just wanted a circle pattern. I have got here with me as well the Changing Leaves stamp set. Hi Sue, how are you? That's okay, Sue. I'll put the measurements up again towards the end so you can have another look at that. But I'm going to be using also the Changing Leaves dies for this, and I've chosen these leaf dies here, and I have got a scrap of basic white which I'm going to cut those out just to add another little element of interest. And I've also got here the satin ribbon. Now this comes from the new mini catalogue. I did a card the other day and I can't remember the name of the suite. It's that beautiful yellow one. I can't think now what it's called, and I haven't got my catalogue here handy to have a quick look. But it has this lovely, really fine yellow ribbon. So that's probably in the Daffodil Delight. Really gorgeous, and I just love that because I think it's just great for tying bows and everything. So I might even pop a little bit of that on there. I've also got some stamping I'm going to do in my Shy Shamrock, and I've chosen the thank you sentiment from the Changing Leaves. So you'll find the Changing Leaves in the online exclusives. So let's get started and create this card. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my sentiment, since it's really the only stamping involved in this particular card. And I've already taken my sentiment out there, and I have got my little circle there, and that will just fit nicely in there. You probably, even if you wanted to go down a size. So let me just have a quick look and see if I've got a slightly smaller one. I've got a little box of all these die cut pieces that I've cut out over time. So I've got, let's just have a look if it's going to fit in there. Yeah, it's probably a little bit too big for that one there. That one's about the same size, I think. So I'm probably going to have to stick with that one. I think that one there is the same size. It will fit in there. Oh, we might try it. It's a little bit tighter because the outside edge isn't as wide as this one. So we'll keep those two handy for the moment. But, of course, you could use any other shape that you have. Okay, so let's get rid of that one and let's stamp our sentiment. Now, if you've never used Stampin' Up ink pads before, they are a foam ink pad, so you don't need to push your stamp into the ink pad. You just need to tap it lightly on top. And I'm going to try it with this one first and see how we go. And I'm just going to stamp that thank you on there, and that works out perfectly. So that will fit on that really well. Okay. Now, if you don't mind letting me know, because as I said the other night on my live, I am using a new platform for my lives, and the issue we had the other day was everything was back to front. What I could see was right, but what you guys were seeing was back to front. So if you could tell me whether the stamp pad on there is the right way around or the wrong way around, that would be fantastic. It would let me know whether I have got this going the right way or not. Okay, so once we've done that, we might just do our cutting of some leaves now. So I'm just going to bring in my mini cut and emboss. And I have got a scrap of basic white here. And I just need a pair of snips just to cut this down a little bit. It is backwards. Okay, still. Let me just try one thing very quickly then and just see if this... Does that make it better? Because now that looks like it's backwards to me. No, it's not better. Doesn't make any difference. It's still backwards. Okay. I will leave it at that. I'm not going to, I think it's just a minor thing. I'm not going to really worry too much about it. I just thought I may have worked it out, but I still haven't. That's okay. Okay, let's pop these dies onto here because I think I only need to cut a couple of each. And let me just pop that around here so you can see what I'm doing. So this is our mini cut and emboss, and we'll pop the next plate on top and run that through. Okay, take that one out, and I just might cut another one more leaf if I can fit that in there using just that single die this time, and pop that plate there on top. Does it worry you, Wendy, that it's back to front a little bit? Yeah, I have done that, Sue. I've just haven't quite worked it out how to do it. There's a couple of different ways apparently I can do it. The problem is my strip along the bottom that says Michele Nutrition Australia, to me that is the right way. It's the image that's behind that, and trying to work out how that flips. I can work it out how to flip it, but it's Yeah, and it's not changing my cameras around either. So it just may have to stay that way. I just might have to be a backwards girl. I think everyone still will get the gist of what I am doing. I'll just have to remember if I'm doing something that's got a definite left and right, then to make sure I tell everybody that it's on the left or it's on the right, especially if there's a fold or something like that. So let's just remove all these bits out of this. When you change platforms, it all becomes a new learning curve. So now I'm sorry, this is just taking a little bit of a while to do this. I tend to be a little bit pedantic about removing these things. And it looks like that hasn't cut right through properly for me. Let's see how we go. Sometimes you need a little metal shim or even another piece of cardboard or cardstock to go under when you're cutting a few of these things, because they're just sometimes a little bit short, or run it through twice. Even if your mats that you're putting on these onto die cut with have got a little bit of warp in it, it's just sometimes can be just enough. So then these things won't cut out nicely. But let's just see. We can just get our scissors in here. It's just a little, it's just caught by just a tiny little bit. There's that one out. And I'll just go down this side here and just, as I said, it's just the tiniest little bit that they're caught in by. There we go. All done. Oh, one more. Well, that thunder is rolling around out there. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab my piece of designer series paper here. Now you could, if you wanted to, stamp another image onto here. I might actually, just wondering whether I can get, because all I want is probably just one or two leaves. I might use this one here. It's the first time I've actually used these stamps. I've been using the dies for a little bit, but haven't pulled out the stamps as yet. So let's just grab a foam mat and a block just to add these stamps onto. Now I just want to give that a little bit of a rub just to take some of any of the leftover residue from the manufacturing off, and I'll just give it a bit of a clean on my chamois there. And now I find when I'm stamping sentiments, I don't need to use a foam mat as much as when you actually do stamp images. So, and that's going to work out fine. Now I've got one of these for the inside and one for the outside. I'm just making sure I've got this the right way around. All I want to do is just stamp on the inside here. Now I'm stamping this on the right-hand side, and I'm just going to give that a stamp right there, just so we've got a little bit of interest inside our card. And I'll just clean that stamp off now while we're thinking about it. Sorry for my squeaky chamois. Needs to have a bit of a wash, and we'll get rid of that. Okay, so here's our card base, and I've already scored this and I've folded it up. Now what you should have, when you fold this piece up, which is the bottom of our matchbook, and then we fold this piece down, you want it overlapping by a little amount. I've got it overlapping there by about 1/2 centimetre or 1/4 inch. You just want it to overlap, so then when we put a staple in here to hold it together, that can just slip underneath there like that. Okay, so I'm going to grab my designer series paper and the mats and my insert, and we're just going to add a little bit of multi-purpose glue. Now you couldn't, of course, use your seal. I just prefer my multi-purpose glue because it gives me that little bit of slip I like, just to make sure that all these pieces are where I want them to be. But make sure you give that a really nice rub down to make sure that that is well and truly adhered. If you don't, what happens is that your glue can look like a big lump underneath. By giving it a good rub down, you're actually helping to spread that glue and remove any lumps of glue in there. So that's why I also too, when I put glue on these things, I don't take my glue right to the edge, because once your glue spreads, and I'm going to do the same thing with this piece here, I'm only putting glue in the center because we don't want it to spread out and then ooze out past our onto our cardstock and out into the other area where it's going to be visually seen. So again, just pushing it down just to make sure that, number one, it's adhering. Number two, the glue is spread, and you're not left with a blob of glue in between your 2 layers of paper. So there now are our 3 layers, and we're going to adhere these onto our card front. So I'm going to start with by putting this on the insert of my card. So I'm going to pop a little bit of glue there. Again, as I said, I haven't gone right to the edges. And then this piece here is going to go on the inside, but up towards the top, okay? I've allowed at least 1/2 centimetre or 1/2 centimetre. I've gone from 10 down to 10.5 wide to 10. So that 1/2 centimetre divided up all the way around is 2.5, except for at the bottom part here, okay? So you're going to have a bigger piece at the bottom. So you want to line this up at the top. So when that comes together, it's going to fold up like that and not fold on top of your basic white. Same with this piece here. I'm going to flip my card over. I'm going to pop some glue on the back of this one. My glue bottle is starting to empty. And I'm going to adhere this again up the top, leaving about 2.5 mil on the 3 sides. So this bottom area down here is going to have a wider depth. Okay, so that's what you should end up with, something like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this up. So I'm going to leave that open. This tab here at the bottom, I'm going to fold it up, and I've got a stapler here. And what I want to do is I'm going to staple that right in the middle. You can put 2, which I might actually do, one there and one there. The other way I probably should have done this, and I might just take these out. No, I won't, is maybe staple it the other way around, okay? See, I have got the flat sides there, and I've got my folded pieces of my staple there. If I really thought about this, I probably should have stapled it from the other side, so then those folded pieces are going to be there, because this piece here is now going to get glued on top of that. Okay. I'm just keeping an eye on this lightning and thunder. And then that there is going to go down on top of this. Keeping all of that in line with each other. So that's going to be there like that. Now I've just realised what I was going to do with my ribbon is actually tie that, before I glued this down, tie it around. So I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to do something a bit different. But what you could do before you pop this piece down is wrap your ribbon around and tie a bow. And I'm going to do something a little bit different. And I'm going to pop a little bit of seal on here, and I'm popping it onto the right hand side of my card, and I've just popped a little bit there. And what I want to do is just make a little bit of a zigzag, because I just do want to, I love the lemon. I'm not a great Daffodil Delight person, but I do like to have a pop of it. And I just think that's just looking really lovely. So I'm just doing a little bit of a swish there of my ribbon. And then I'm going to grab some dimensionals. So I've got my large ones here. Now I do want to slip these leaves in. I like to put my sentiment down first. And I'm only just going to put 2 on here, and I'm putting the dimensionals into the middle. And that allows me room around the outside edge to place or to slip under anything like this. Now, I do want to have this, though, sitting as flat as I possibly can against that ribbon, and I think I need to make that a little bit bigger. So just hold on one second. Let's see if I can. Let's go. I can always get another piece of ribbon. Sometimes actually even doing this on the back of your, yeah, I think I'm going to use another bigger piece of ribbon. So let's just take this bigger. Let's just check that before I cut anything this time. Yep, that's going to work quite well. Make sure that's all stuck down. And then that is going to go, making sure that that thank you is sitting nice and flat. And then I'm just going to trim these off that little bit like that. Now, I do want to still stick these in. You could just finish it like that and leave it like that. Can you hear the thunder here, Wendy? Yeah, it's not real loud yet, but it's going to get, it hasn't quite got overhead. Okay. Just wanting to make sure I can get some of this out. Starting to just lift that up and poke that in there. And then that one, I think I'll only use those two. I don't think I'll need the other one. Pop some glue onto that. Pop that into there. Okay. Now, of course, if you wanted to, we could add a few embellishments to that. Let's just have a look, see what I have that we could add. Those ones. Now, I can't remember which ones of these are still available or not, but I think most of those ones there are. Let's have a look, because that's going to pop. Whoops. Thought I saw a little bit of glue go flying. So we just want to open it up a little bit and pop that in. And I think any of these colours would go really well, because it's really got all of those colours in that. So let's grab my take a pic tool. And I'm just going to add that one there. Now, these are the Tinsel Gems 4-pack. So I'm going to add, and it comes into, each colour comes in 2 sizes. So I'm using the little ones here. I'm going to add one there. Never really know where to put these things. One down there. Another one up there, and let's just add big one with that one. Big one with that one. And I think I might just leave that one as a little one there. So there you are. Quite a simple little card today, but something that's a little bit different. A little bit of a fun fold, but just a very simple sort of fun fold. Not too complicated. Something that you can make up quite quickly with those new papers, and just let those papers be your hero on that card. And to open it, again, you just bend that backwards a little bit and that will flip open, and there you are, somewhere to write your message. So that's my card for today. I hope you've enjoyed that and it's inspired you to create something like that for yourself. I will just pop those measurements back up again so you can see them again. Hold on one second. So they're the measurements that we've used today. And if you're here in Australia and you want to purchase any of these products that we've used, of course you can do that. And you can find a link to my online store at butterfliesandbows.com or at michellejutrissa.stampingup.net. So I hope you've enjoyed that. And remember, if you spent these products I've used today, the designer series paper is from the new celebration catalogue, which comes out in January. If you don't have a demonstrator and you would like a copy of that for yourself, please let me know and I can get a copy to you. Just give me a little while to get some. I'm just waiting for some catalogues to come in. If you've already been someone who has placed an order with me in the last few months, then you will have a catalogue already in the post ready to come to you. If you place yeah, that's about it. So thank you very much. Thank you, Sue and Wendy, for joining me today and having a chat with me. It's been wonderful. Let me just pop me back up there because I'm not used to having me on the screen. Because for the last 6 months or so, I haven't been able to do that. So it's great to have this new format. I'm just very sorry that it's everything's a bit back to front for you, but that's okay. We will sort that out hopefully in not the too near future. So take care. Hopefully, if everything goes well, I will be back here on Tuesday night. Tuesday I have got an inspection happening, so I've got to go now and do some housework, get the place looking spick and span, pick up all those little bits of paper scraps off my floor, which is going to be a headache. So take care, and this storm is about to really hit, so I better get going. So bye for now. Thank